Okay, Cliff, let me ask you here. Part of the excitement of the show, reading the comments from my video yesterday, and since I've been trying to get the show together with you guys, was the excitement about this old WebBot data report. I believe it's one of the Bare Naked Wealth reports, which was probably the anchor for everyone here in Normie Land to understand that there was a prediction out there of a $600 per ounce silver. Can you explain very quickly what those WebBot data reports were all about, how you got into that number, why numbers were difficult, and let's time in and plot some of those temporal markers from way back when that are happening right now.
Okay, so an anomaly occurred within the data sets back in the first run in 1997. The anomaly was a small one. It went unnoticed by me for a couple of years, and then I tumbled to it, and that there was a connection between silver and the sun disease. Okay, silver is thought of as a moon-associated metal. It is not thought of as a solar-associated metal. That's the gold. This is an inherent, deeply held context and concept within humans that is basically unspoken. You see it occasionally written about in the esoteric literature and so on, but most people just, they will react to silver the same way that they react to the shiny moon, so to speak, if you were to set up an experiment, but they would be unaware of this. So there is this inbuilt association for humans with silver and gold in a particular way. It showed up in the data sets connected to the sun, and that didn't make sense when I started looking at it in 99. And so as it went forward in the first couple of years of the reports, like say up to 2003, that was when I was wrestling with the issue of numbers. Okay, the whole internet is nothing but numbers. So while numbers are indeed psychically potent and psychically produced by humans, unbidden from psychic intuition and so on, numbers in and of themselves, because they're in a limited set, 1 through 9 plus 0, are bound to repeat. They're bound to be constantly in our environment. So I had to work out a mechanism for basically throwing them all out, because they were just cluttering up everything. So what I did was to resolve down to the point where no numeric value was going to be accepted through my processing that was not contextually structured as a language. So it had to be written out. So instead of the numbers showing up, I had to write, it had to show up as the word 12 instead of the digits 1, 2, or it had to show up as a dozen, some other language modifier as opposed to a numeric, because the numerics were they're just everywhere. They're in IP addresses. They just pop up all the time in the sweeps, etc. And so it was at that point that I started seeing, and that would have been like 2003, when I set up the framework that way, the discrimination part of it, I started seeing silver escalation, silver with numbers showing up far more than gold. Occasionally I would get some outrageous number, $10,000 for gold, something like that. But for every one of those, I would get 50 or 100 or 600 or 700, depending on the run, numeric values associating with silver. So silver was much more numerically sensitive in terms of how it came through the data associated to written out words. There was over the course from 2003 to 2008 or so, we had this consistent repetition of this the initial $600 came in year 2000. It was repeated in 2001. I think it was again repeated in 2002 and 3, and then it came in a flurry, 2008, 9, so on, right? And then it started getting associated with this, as of that point, unnamed, unknown, new financial instrument. Not a system per se, but I knew that there was something showing up ever since like 2003. I knew we were going to get a replacement. A new form of money was coming. Didn't have a clue. Then we get Bitcoin, and then we started getting the off to the races of the cryptos connecting to silver and gold. And so they naturally, within the data since about 2008, even before Bitcoin was named, even before the white paper was released, I had data sets consistently associating silver and gold with this new form of something that would come on out. And we are now at this point where we have cryptocurrencies that are also acting as a storehouse of wealth and forming a lot of the same kind of features as we see with the silver and the gold. So there was this naturally arising association that came through there. The $600 value has persisted ever since 2000. and it has just gotten reinforced. It is not a final dollar value or anything. I soon lost interest in the actual numeric value of it because I got so much shit for people saying, "Oh, you're crazy, it'll never happen."
Sure.
But what was more fascinating was the progression of silver over the course of time from that point of $600 and going into this point where we actually really look at silver as the metal and discover that there's two forms and that one is superior to the other for some unknown, as of this point, technical use that will propel that form of silver to a very high demand, simply because of this naturally occurring whatever it is about this particular kind of silver that is unique. And I don't know that if we can manufacture silver into that form or not. This was never examined in the data sets. I ran into all of the problems in 2015 with the pollution from the blue chicken cult, and so it started degrading from that point relative to the amount of detail I was able to pick up. However, we're here now. We've had a number of the technical and temporal markers. Okay, so there was a technical marker that said that the $600 silver would be associated with the $64,000 Bitcoin and cut in half and then coming back up, and the $100,000 Bitcoin parties. And at the same time that we were having $100,000 Bitcoin parties in this December winter period of time, we would also be having these people that would be doing their intergenerational wealth planning based on the hoards of silver they have. So in other words, people will discover that, oh, geez, I've been an idiot, and over these past years, it hasn't really amounted to anything, but I've got a couple of hundred bars of silver here, right? And all of a sudden they find out, geez, I'll be able to pass this on to my children's children's children, and it will still have a major value at that stage. So they'll start thinking in a different way. That was what showed up in the data sets, was the alteration of our thinking relative to the context change of humanity. This is how big this is, right? This is not simply a financial system crashing. This is not a fiat currency that's going to die away, get burnt out, and rebuilt the way The Economist would have it shown, right? The Economist magazine idea that, oh, well, those fiats will go away and we'll replace it with our new fiat, this digital fiat thing, right? It's not going to happen that way. This is the upending of humanity and the changing of humans in a way that will remove the deep state, and it will remove the deep state's manipulation and obscuring of our true wealth. Because bear in mind that the deep state has been stealing from us consistently and continuously and increasing the level of theft year after year after year after year through debt slavery instruments, through interest, through all of these mechanisms, to the point where we are beggars in a land of plenty from our own labor.
Hi, everybody. This is Andy Scheckman. I'm sure you've seen me as a regular guest on JC's show. Out of deep admiration and respect for the guests tonight, for David Morgan and for Clif High, Miles Franklin will be offering, and the SilverWoo, don't forget about that. We will be offering the 2021 Noah's Ark as a special price for this show and everyone listening at $3.25 over the price of silver. The very, very, very best price in the United States. It's just my way of saying thank you for the work that Clif and David are doing, for all that they're giving out, and the information to help us all get to where we need to be in these crazy times. So God bless you all, David and Clif and JC. Live long and prosper, and thanks for letting me play a very small part in this very important message.
Well, thank you so much, Andy. And folks, you can find that special at beyondmystic.net/SilverWoo. Now back to the show. Yeah, so live long and prosper. Andy was proud of that one, to get that one into. We had to record that a few more times to get that just right for you guys. So a big thank you from Andy.
Yeah, thanks much to Andy.
And folks, again, that's it's a different coupon code than you usually go to. So again, here, just for clarity, it's beyondmystic.net/SilverWoo. That is where you're going to find this specific discount here for this particular episode. And of course, if you're watching us with us now, it's because you are one of our Insider Access Pass members here on my beyondmystic.net/pay-per-view library. So please do go check that out. We have a lot of these Beyond Crypto Woo reports that Janine and I are producing that might help you also navigate these financial transitions that we're in now. And if you're interested in that Insider Access Pass, we currently have a promotion going on. It's called Stay Connected is the coupon code, and that will give you 10% off of the annual Insider Access Pass area. So a big thank you. Merci beaucoup, Clif. Merci beaucoup, David. And folks, that was The Silver Woo with Clif High and David Morgan, where the Silver Guru meets the Silver Woo. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic, and have a great weekend. Au revoir.